Welcome back, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Want to correct myself from the last segment. We had a caller that called in that talked about the coach from the Cardinals that might be a good fit for the Steelers staff. Jen Welter is her name. Jen Welter. And shout out to our producer, Jarrett, for clarifying that for me. I got her confused with, I believe, Jen Stelzer, or Jen Stelzer is her name. She's actually a reporter, I believe, for a regional outlet out west. So I got their names confused. But Jen Welter is her name. She's the one that's the coaching intern for the Cardinals and has created quite an impression out west. Let's go back to the phone lines. Pete in Squirrel Hill. Pete, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Josh, how are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
All right. Listen, Happy New Year to you and your family.
Happy New Year to you.
I'm going to change things up a little bit, Josh, if I may.
Go for it.
About those two guys that do the Penguin games on TV, Josh, Rick Mears and Bob Erie. Watching a game last night, and not just last night, it happens every single game. They use the words in combination: unbelievable, spectacular, remarkable, sensation, incredible, 28 times during the broadcast. I got to tell you, Josh, I started watching hockey in 1968. My uncle introduced me to the game. Bobby Orr and Wayne Gretzky have come and gone. To put that in a nutshell, Mary Lemieux has 2 NHL scoring records. Bobby Orr has 23, Wayne Gretzky 65. What is incredible, sensational, unbelievable about guys that score like 30, 35 goals a year? I want you to tell me about that. Thank you.
How on earth can I comment on that? The use of superlatives by men I don't work with. I can't even argue the use of superlatives with men I do work with when you get past the word dude. But honestly, Steve Mears and Bob Erie, that's a question for Steve Mears and Bob Erie. I can't answer for them. But, oh, sorry, excuse me. Wow. I got nothing for that one. Let's try again. Let's go with Craig and Jeanette. Craig, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. Hello, Craig. Are you there, Craig? Apparently he is not. Okay, we'll try again. Let's go to Chris in Uniontown. Chris, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hello?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
What's up?
Hey, Josh, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Hey, let me have a question.
Go for it.
Does the AD at Pitt, can she change the offensive coach without Narduzzi actually agreeing with it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I am not sure, but thank you for the call. I've had this discussion with a couple people about what Pitt needs to do. If it was up to me, and shout out to my man Gavin, who actually agrees with me on this, get a guy that has a little bit of more of a background in modern football, maybe someone preferably who's heard of Hal Mumme, knows how the air raid offense works, believes in using time and space in the middle of the field, preferably maybe a Y cross or Y stick or mesh for play calls from time to time. I say start there. Work your way upward. Because when you are coaching football in 2018 and you are not using the middle of the field the way most modern offenses are pretty much designed to do, I have questions about how you're really thinking about football nowadays. Hal Mumme came up with this idea about to redesign offenses, and he pretty much borrowed the concept of mesh from BYU. If you think about those offenses that had Ty Detmer in those teams, late 80s, early 90s. He borrowed that concept from those teams. They were using that 30 years ago. And you have teams that have no thought of doing that now. That should bother you. If you want to find a coach that coaches offense, find a guy who understands that concept and uses it often. Think Lincoln Riley. Think Mike Leach. You know what those guys have in common? Either played under guys who coached under Hal Mumme, or if you're Dana Holgorsen, played for Hal Mumme at Iowa Wesleyan. Think about guys in that mold, and then go from there. That's what I would recommend as far as looking at the next coach, as far as offensive coordinator at Pitt. We have Mark in Bethel Park. Mark, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, I have a question.
Go for it.
I just wanted to talk about Pitt football.
All right.
Just basically, Pat Narduzzi. I've heard him make comments that he doesn't recruit five-star recruits because they have attitudes and egos. Those are the guys that help you win football games. I don't understand shying away from recruiting those kind of guys, so I'd like to get your comment, and I'm going to hang up. Thank you.
Appreciate the call. I'm of two minds about this. Number one, I understand where he's coming from because guys that have that 5-star rating, even ones that have the 4-star rating, they garner a lot of attention. And there's something about some people who get a lot of attention, they tend to feed off that attention. So I get it from that perspective. I would also counter it with this argument. There was a time when Brett Bielema, I worked in Fayetteville, Arkansas maybe 4 or 5 years ago. There was a time when Brett Bielema was coaching down there, and he talked about how they built the program at Wisconsin. And he talked about some of the guys he built the team around, like a 3-star recruit named Russell Wilson. I think it was a 2-star recruit. His name was J.J. Watt, if you've heard of him. But they built that program around guys who were very under-recruited guys, very guys that were really underrated and didn't really have that ceiling or that projection that some people thought. If you have a guy that has that kind of body type and he can be coached up, that's the key. Can he be coached up? Then that might make a difference as far as who they bring in and who they can develop over time. Wrapping up when we come back. Stick around.